So ShipHawk WMS, I think, is some really great exception handling because not only are we providing you, hey, this could be going wrong, but then we're also giving you a way to resolve those processes. So what I'm actually going to show you here is looking at our process. We can actually jump in and actually look at our pick and assemble process, release wave batch. And what we actually have are a couple of different tabs here. We've got things like unallocated orders and unallocated items. If you guys remember earlier, I talked about our automated batching, where our system is looking at the type of an order, where it should be picked from. But on the other side of that is what happens when we can't pick an order from the correct location. You have a multi-pallet Amazon FBA order, and you don't have any available stock in the back stock. Everything's in an e-commerce location. That is a concept of this screen right here. We're going to give you those details so that way you know, hey, for this specific order, I have this item, I've ordered one, but I've allocated 0, the system has. It tells you where that stock's going to be located at. So in this B7, I have 1 available. And then I think this is really sort of, into the weeds, that next level that we do better than any other solution I've ever seen is telling you where those other allocations are. So that way you could say, hey, this order has that stock that I need for this order. Maybe you need to go back and say, this order is actually more important, right? This one is from our VIP, and unfortunately, this one is just from a standard e-commerce customer. And unfortunately, I have to make that VIP happy because, they do so much for us. So I need to go back to this customer and say, unfortunately, we couldn't find or locate that stock. Or maybe I need to go to the purchasing and procurement team to say, hey, we need to get more in ASAP because we're seeing orders come in. And this is at the order level, but then also we're going to show it to you at the item level. Maybe you're launching a new product line or new SKU, and it's just not in the right location, right? So you're going to launch it over the weekend. Somebody put it into a hold location on Friday, forgot to move it into a pickable location before they left for the day. You walk in Monday morning and you say, why are all these orders missing? Where are they? You have one great one-stop shop to see all those details. So I can look at something like this 100161, where we've ordered 20, we were able to allocate 12, but we're still needing 8 of those. Once again, seeing all of those locations that have that product, the B7, the Resolve, the Pack, the CEC room, and then once again, those total hard and soft allocations. So then you guys can go back and review, what needs to happen to this inventory? Do we need to replenish it? Do we need to just move it into a new location? Do we need to take it off of hold status? Something like that. That is where this really comes into play. And then lastly is short picks being resolved. So the ability for our system to capture that during the picking process. So maybe somebody goes to a location during picking, they can't find that product. They can actually exception pick it right there and say, hey, I can't find this. I need to short pick it. Maybe I need 10 and I can only find 2, or I can't find anything. So I find 0. This allows you to not only exception that and know what's going on, but then see that. So important. So for customers coming from a paper-based operation, right, they're used to, at the end of the pick line, getting a pick list with something scratched out or a sticky note on top. What happens when that sticky note falls off? It's really hot. I live in North Carolina, so that could happen all the time. So this allows you to systematically track those types of exceptions. So what I'm going to do right here is show you not only that we are going to provide them to you in a report and dashboard, but also take you through a resolve process, really take you from beginning to end. So what I've got all these different totes here, these TT numbers, these are totes in my environment. And so let's say that, hey, I've dropped this off with an inventory control specialist, and now they're ready to be resolved. I'm going to take that container, I'm going to come into my handheld process and go to the pick assemble button. Here we have that resolve short picks button, so we can actually take a look at it. And it's going to say, what container are we actually trying to fix? So I'm going to fix this TT8913. And then here we have a couple different options. And I apologize, they're kind of small, just the way that the emulator reads them on the screen, but in an actual handheld, they would be big, so you could see them. We've got a couple options. We could move the inventory from one of these locations. These are available picking locations that we could allocate this inventory to. So the simple button click, I can move that and essentially pick it. We can always hold and suspend those for future receipts. Maybe we've got something coming in. We know a purchase order and we're ready to actually receive that. And then lastly, we can move the container as is and short ship it, which obviously has some dependency on how we update that in NetSuite to make sure that the item fulfillment record is updated correctly. And then lastly, we can always cancel that order, return it to inventory, and the system's going to take your team member through a directed put away process. So maybe whatever's in my tote that I partially picked before, I want to say, hey, cancel the whole order, let's put it all back. The user can then scan the item and it will directly or take them through that directed put away process. So really key feature right here that I think really takes us to the next level, gives customers all the visibility that they're looking for, gives them an automatic way to find that. They're not having to look up where this inventory is it allocated to other orders, am I going to have a problem moving it? It's all automated for you. The system is keeping track of how much it can allocate to that order and then allowing you to do so or take any of the other actions that are available.